The moment you choose to do what you really want to do, you start living a different kind of life. This episode is going to entail everything that this man can do differently and better. Hello and welcome to the seventh episode of Talk and Beyond, where I am accompanied with a game changer of the event management industry. He has an experiential marketing agency known as Phase One for over 2 decades and has always set a bar higher than the prevailing standards of doing this business, bringing the creativity, passion, agility, and humility in the works of the company. This man has given us a reason to believe that events are not just a source of money, but also the moments to create warmth with a professional touch. His recent anthem called The Love to Humanity has captured a million hearts and has led us to believe in the optimistic approach to life. Without any further ado, welcoming Oum Pradutt to the show. Many thanks for joining us, Om. Hope you're well rested as this episode is going to be a tough workout.
Hi Priyanka, fabulous to be here. Thank you for your very kind introduction. Always humbling, but thank you so much. Good to be here with you. What's up?
Let's straight away dive into our first question, Om. 25
Yeah,
years in the industry when the phrase event management did not exist. What did you see here? Was there a need or pure passion leading to serendipity?
for me, I thought there was a huge opportunity. I actually began my career by working in a corporate organization first. I was Godrej, as people know, for who manufacture furniture, etc. But they also had another beautiful division called the Industrial Systems and Workshop Equipment Division. It was a walk-in interview, and I'd gone in for it. And during those days, jobs are not very easy to come by. You had 400 people vying for 2 posts in an organization. Joined them, was there with them for about 3 years and 9 months, during which time I learned the nuances of manufacturing, distribution, trading, finances, processes, quality checks, and so on. It's such. During that period, I realized that when these multinationals were setting shop in India, I felt that there was a need for those corporates to interact with their consumers or with their colleagues or their own stakeholders in a very engaging manner. Why I discovered that is while I was in Godrej, I realized that I used to work with a lot of our traders, and always challenges when a corporate is trying to communicate something very special to their trade, and how you perceive it is very different, over a typed letter or just a telephone call. So that's when I myself actually proposed to my branch manager during that period. My first job was in 1991. So somewhere during 1994, I remember I proposed to him saying that why don't we get all of these traders together to one hotel? Let's have a conversation over a meal and a beer. And it was very disruptive during that time. And he said, "Listen, are we kidding? I mean, we're a proper corporate organization and we've never done something like this before." And I said, "Let's try, give it a shot." And when we did give it a shot, all the traders came together. There was a certain energy, vibe that was so beautiful, and they discovered that we could crack solutions. If they had challenges, we were able to solve for them. The minute I realized that something like that really worked, we started making it an ongoing process. Every quarter, we would do something like that. And that's when I realized that there was a need, there was an opportunity to sort of tap into this. And for me, I was always excited about entertainment. Through school and college, I was always part of theater, musicals. I loved the stage. I loved dancing, jazz dancing, break dancing, wherever possible, and so on. I used to party a great deal even while I was in school. I was a brat. I was not meant to be doing these things. I was underage, but I would still go to discos with my friends and do what I had to. So I always loved the whole theatrics. So while I was doing those shows, what I discovered was the whole aspect of stage, the lighting, the sound engineering, the props, makeup, hairstyles, wardrobe. So all of these things really sort of got me going. I said, let me try to blend my passion of entertainment with corporate. So I managed to somehow, I thought that there was an opportunity, and then I quit my job and I said, let's just do this. So it was actually an opportunity that I saw, very greatly. And also I must confess that there was another organization called Encore that used to exist during that time in Bangalore. My very dear friend of mine called Nath, who used to run a company, very successful company. They were doing really well, and I said, why not? And then I took the leap. and I started my own company. That's how I began.
Wow, that's really to have a stable job and you leave everything and get into something that is passion driven, which is not even heard of. I mean,
Yeah,
commendable at that age. Run me back in this journey. How was it getting your first client 25 years ago? And who was it? How did they
yeah.
it? And what was the nature of work there?
Right. So when I quit, I didn't know where I'm going to start the business from. But what I wanted to do was to get away from what I was doing, because whatever I would do, I would be consumed in what I do. So while I was at my previous job, there was no way I could have thought about doing anything else because I was into it. So first I said, let me get off the job, quit the job. And then it was all about, where am I going to run an office? Where are the telephone lines? During those times, you had to wait for 3 years and 2 years to get even a telephone line. We didn't even have a phone in our own house during that time. So, but I have a very dear friend of mine called Davis, J. Davis Pro Sound. They are the technical service providers, one of the pioneers in the country, and of course, even in Bangalore, along with, of course, Felix. So I requested Mr. Davis, who had a lovely office on St. Mark's Road, and I said, Davis, will you please allow me to use that desk that you have, another desk right next to you, which is empty. And I assure you that if you give me that space, I will actually give you 3 times the business that you're currently, generating every month. He took a leap of faith and he liked me. I used to know him a lot very well. So he gave me that space. And when he did, he had a phone. The number I still remember is 221 4409. And, it's an extension. So I would, every time, I'd make a call, I'd receive a call, I'd say, hello, phase one. And then, of course, there were no calls coming in, but basically I had a phone and a desk. And I was very happy with this. And and the other interesting thing is there were no computers during that time. There was no mobile phone. There were no pagers. There was nothing, not even internet. So the only way to do it is you got to hustle your way through to everything that you do. I have a very good friend of mine again from Godrej who used to work. His name is Anil Keshavan, and then he actually said, listen, no, I've got a very good friend of mine who's the resident director of HCL. Very good friend of mine. His name is Manoj Nair. Come and meet him. Let's try and see what we can do. So I said, let's do it. And then I went across. I had already printed my business card and went to his office on 100 Feet Road. And, basically had a new software to launch called Creative Lab.
Okay.
For Excel. And then I said, okay, buddy, this is what we can do. And, I gave him a whole concept of how it can be more interesting when all the traders are there together and how you can enhance the whole product. I gave him the concept. There was no presentation. I was just talking him through the whole thing. He was a wonderful human being. He trusted the budget. I gave him a budget of whatever else it is. He didn't even negotiate. He said, let's do it. And that's why I did my first show. The first show was at the Taj Residency, the Trinity Hall, 25 years ago in the 1995, 31st of July. So we complete 25 years now.
So,
And that was it. And then I had the best event, and I obviously was the person who went and did the whole production. I booked the artist, got the rehearsals done through the night. I had to make sure that I'm there for the whole setup, do the technical rehearsals. I had no sleep for 48 hours, 72 hours. I just did it, and I loved it. At Priyanka, is when we did that event, it was such an amazing energy with the best of entertainment happening. I already had the next client already. I didn't even know that he was the general manager of Hewlett Packard during that period, and he said, "Om, can you meet me tomorrow?" He called me to his house the next day on a Sunday morning. I went and met him, and he asked me to do the next show. And then it was all about word of mouth. And the minute people experience something, they get addicted to it. So that's how I began. That was my first show. And I have so many stories to narrate, which are so unique and very funny. Some of them are dangerous. Some of them are,
dangerous.
sad. But we've gone through lots of things. But back to this, I said, there was no concept called event management, so to speak, because during that time, event managers were perceived to be furniture providers, shamiana providers, or exhibition organizers. And they thought that, event managers are fly-by-night operators who just do something and run away. You never know if the money is safe. But to actually build respect, develop confidence, took a lot, but I was so passionate about it. And some more colleagues, when I say, some more other event agencies that existed, I think they were at it. And I think that's how we managed to build this whole industry called event management. And looking back, and the one thing I need to add is, when I wanted to get married, my father-in-law to be asked me, what do you do? And for me, when I had to say event management, they thought he was wondering was he giving his daughter to the right person or not? Because you either be a doctor or an engineer or a pilot or something. So I do thank him for having agreed to allow his daughter to get married to me. And yeah, so event management never existed. But it's
Absolutely.
nice. It's nice.
Sailing through such times, the pioneers, it's because of the actual struggle, the actual hustle that you went through. Now we have everything at our footsteps, right? Like the internet,
Yeah.
phones, the laptops, the computers. But seldom do we use those technologies to get to the right people. And as you said, network is the key aspect here that I see that you've actually built over time, and it could actually give you the better scope leading to something which is so beautiful and so large. Over my episodes, I've never is stressing on the word networking, because this is going to take you to places. This is
Yeah.
beautiful, like it's beyond measures. Coming
Thank you.
part, tell me about how the requirements and the perception of the clients has changed over the 2.5 decades. Draw us a parallels. Let's see how the clients have changed from then to now.
Hmm. I believe that a lot of people from advertising have actually joined corporate organizations. People from PR have joined corporate organizations. People from hospitality have joined corporates. So I think all of those people started valuing the whole concept of communication, concept of strategy, concept of hospitality, concept of connections and networking. So I think they are the early adapters to actually valuing event management as an industry. And because those are the kind of people who started joining the large corporates, like the Accentures of the world, or the Titans of the world, or Toyotas, all the industries, people started realizing, and they started, I think, internalizing this and telling their bosses that, look, I think events are essential. Let's try and get going for a pitch. Let's get people to come and give us strategies to communicate. Because at the end of the day, what are we doing? We're storytelling. Whether it's through advertising, whether it's through PR, you're trying to communicate something to the consumer or to a certain stakeholder. How best do you do it? What's the kind of an attention that you have when you watch television? Of course, now ads are very different on the internet, but you can choose to walk away from it. You can choose to drive past a hoarding. You can choose to close a newspaper and say, I'm done with the whole thing. How do you make sure that you are sort of pinning them down and watching and listening and absorbing and internalizing what the corporate really wants to communicate? They realize the best way to do is to gather people together, create a vibe, create an atmosphere that's engaging, and then get them to look at results. It may not be mass, it would be a little more niche, but then the scale kept increasing and increasing over a period of time. But at the end of the day, storytelling is what event managers are all about, which means when you're doing a storytelling, it doesn't matter what you use. You could use a set, you could use a stage, you could use LEDs, you could use vinyls, or you can use holographics, lasers, intelligent lighting, you name it. All of them can be used to make sure that the storytelling is delivered properly, which is impactful. Right? So I think corporates have really started valuing events about 15 years ago, and they started really allocating budgets beyond advertising and PR also for events. And the pie that used to be probably 5% or 8% grew to 15%, and now probably we are almost at par. Almost 40% or 50% of the budgets by corporates are spent on events as well. So I think it has moved a great deal. We've all had to adapt to technology. We've all had to adapt ourselves to newer ways of telling stories, and I think we are at a fantastic position right now as far as events are concerned.
We are storytellers and tentwalas or someone who provides light and stage. It's way beyond that. Creating an experience is something everybody wishes to do, but very, very few are able to do. Let me break it down for you. The first you pitched, right? And the event that you did in Taj Residency. How was it different from the last event that you did live? What has changed over this time?
I just think the optics have changed.
Okay.
Stories have remained the same. The optics have changed. You're just using newer technology, newer environments, newer cuisine, newer food, newer everything. The whole experience has changed. Absolutely changed. Because 25 years ago, what you'd expect, you'd be happy with something as basic as a great looking set and a 3D, the thermocol cutout which has depth in it, some lighting. And people would say, wow, they think that's phenomenal. But now, it's way more different. Today, they want you to use all kinds of technology. They want you to blow the minds of their consumers in the kind of experience that you're going to give them, right from your entry, right from a communication. Earlier you would just send a physical invitation. Today, you create an app. you're navigating the whole thing through an app. Within the app, you need to show them the kind of an architecture, the kind of orientation. You've got to excite people right up in the beginning. Then you've got to deliver the promise when you get to the venue. Right from the time you get to the venue, what do you look at, what do you smell, what do you taste, what do you listen to, what do you feel, touch and feel. Everything is so different. They want us to make sure that all the senses are accentuated. And then coming to your convenience, right from, is it raining during the time that you're walking into the venue? How are you taking care of them? Are there umbrellas? Is there a porch? Is there a valet driver who's going to take care of all these things and walk you through the whole thing? What kind of an atmosphere are you entering into? It's like if you go to a musical in London, say you want to go to the Phantom of the Opera, you could be in the middle of Piccadilly, in the middle of one of the most busiest streets. But you get into the theater, the foyer area gives you a completely different atmosphere. You have a person with the tailcoat, with the champagne, the music is very different. He's kind of getting you into a zone. Move into the main theater. The whole experience is different. You can't believe there are thousands of cars and buses that are traveling outside on the busy street in London once you're inside the theater, because they transport you to another world, another imaginary world through experiences. And that's exactly what people are expecting you to do today. Which means when you get into the venue, you have forgotten that you've walked in through the busiest of slushy rains or the heat of the summer. When you're in, you're transported to another zone. So people expect you to curate something that is so spectacular, so impactful, that they say, "Hey man, I want a little more of it." You could always leave clients asking for more. The consumers asking for more. So I think today that is the order of the day, and you have everything in your in terms of infrastructure that exists and technology that exists to make you go through these things, from soundproofed halls, from the best of LEDs, the best of holographics, the best of 3D animations, you name it. Everything. You can recreate the Oscars over here if you want to, if the client's got the budget. And that's what they expect.
Heaps of the innovation that our storytellers have actually come out with. Like, one episode that you see of a musical is something so different from the other. And that's how it is the events. Like, it's phenomenal how the ideation happens. Moving on to the most favorite part of mine in this conversation is the love to humanity. This has been a symbol of world unity. We saw clips from across the globe and people from every kind of household appearing in this video. What ideated this beauty, and how did you go about getting the biggies to be a part of it?
Yes, Priyanka. Love to humanity is a true labor of love. And when I say that, let me tell you why I say that. For me, I'm very, 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 I believe very strongly in humans coexisting on the planet. And I every time I travel and I see people reclaiming land, people axing trees, whether within our country, outside, animals being caged to captivity, no respect for Mother Nature. I think for me it really upsets me, and I'm in a sense I'm really glad this pandemic has happened in a different sense completely, because I think it's kind of humbled human beings to coexist. And I've said this many times before. And while I know that we're going through this economic meltdown and everything's going wrong, I do feel sorry for everything that's going wrong. But I think this is nature's way of saying, take it easy, don't play God. You cannot come and destroy what I've given you. And they say the Mother Earth that we have is not what we inherit from our parents, but it's what we borrow from our children. It's important for us to respect Earth, respect animals, bees, birds, humans, and everyone. Coexist. And I think what the pandemic has done today, which is unprecedented, I can understand economic meltdown, etc. But this is like a pandemic that the whole world has stopped completely, right? Now, for me, I felt that when it has stopped, obviously I feel for the humans. And I said, we are all politically, economically, and socially back to ground zero. Nobody is a superpower. No one else is any less and greater than the other. And I think at a time like this, I feel that humans need hope. Humans need strength, mental strength to get past this, stay humbled, get back to normal as soon as you possibly can. And I felt that it's important for us to send a message to the whole world and say, hey, folks, we are with you as humans, as humanity, we're with you. We do hope everything's going to come back to normal. We build ourselves back from zero and hopefully, live happily ever after, as they really say. So I said, and that's where it all began from. And I said, it has to convey empathy, it has to convey hope, it has to convey love, and it has to convey strength and responsibility. And these are the things that with which we really began, and our journey towards making love to humanity and the anthem of hope. And which is when I said the same thing to all my friends from across, films and Bollywood music, to industry leaders, to all kinds of people who are part of the anthem, to say, come back and be a part of it. And then that's when I contacted Raghu Dixit, an amazing composer, musician, great friend of mine. He came up with a beautiful sort of tune. The tune was so beautiful, compelling. Got an amazing lyricist to write the lyrics. Went through multiple iterations. Finally spoke with all my friends, got them all together, hunted, scrounged the earth to get the best of footages from everywhere, from Stockholm to Moscow to New York to, you name it, Berlin. Every part of the world we got those footages of empty streets to tell people that this is the memory that we need to always remember. Never forget. If you ever abuse the earth, go back to see how the world came to a standstill. And I'm hoping that this is going to stay as a memory forever for our children, our grandchildren, and everyone to talk about. And I think that's what the whole story is all about, the symbol of hope. It's called Hymn of Hope, which is part of the Love to Humanity concert that we created. And that's how I managed to get it. And I think everyone, without batting an eyelid, agreed to be part of our anthem. They came on board, and we had this whole namaste, the symbol of social distancing and salutations to the world. And everybody does namaste, from Yash to Rajnikant's wife, Lata Rajnikant, to Salim, Suleiman, your Nitya Menon, to you
Yeah.
name it, from everybody just agreed to come on board and be a part of this beautiful anthem. That's how it all happened. That's how Love to Humanity happened, and I'm hoping to continue to do this as an intellectual property digitally, maybe month after month or fortnight after fortnight. Yeah.
Absolutely. If you had a look at the Love to Humanity anthem, I think everybody can relate to it, and everybody would want to associate with such a cause. It's beyond beautiful, and I really congratulate you on this.
Thank you, Priyanka.
This for a long winter, and which is quite certain. Event industry was the first one to be hit and likely to be the last one to recover this pandemic.
Yeah.
And is likely to have changed consumer behavior, and we have to keep it going to survive. How do you see us adopting to this, and is digital the way to go forward? What do you see the events 5 years from now, and is there a tip that I can take from this?
Sure. So I think what we need to understand is consumer behavior is going to change forever, as far as spends are concerned, because even if you do have the cash, you're going to conserve it. Cash is king. And with the uncertainty that exists in terms of jobs, in terms of opportunities, everything is kind of limited. But you have to always look at the opportunities more than the limitations. I always say, learn to be a hunter than just being a farmer. A farmer is going to say that I've got 10 acres of my land, I've sown the seeds, I've toiled really hard. But if there's no monsoons, it's a wipeout, it's a washout, and so I'm dead. Now, if you're going to don the hat of a farmer, you're done. You're going to be a hunter, because if you can hunt, you go to one territory, to the next forest, to the next jungle. You have to go with the intent of finding your food. If you do that, you will travel either 50 miles or 600 miles, but you're going to get your food and bring it back and feed your parents and feed your children. So I think you're going to don the hat of a hunter more than being a farmer, number one. When you do that, what happens is you will find opportunities. There is no way, the world is going to go through many more such, disasters. That's not going to stop us from existing. That's not going to stop us from living, not just surviving, living the way you want to. And I do believe that all of us can, so long as you're optimistic, so long as you're not just optimistic, but you are innovative enough to figure out how and where else there are opportunities that exist. Because don't wait for business to come to your lap. Go looking for business. I can't give you a magic potion today to say how to do it, but all I can tell you is stay positive, box your thoughts. Don't wire your mind in a way that if you're stressed about last month's salary, etc., or whatever else it is, let it not affect you now. Now take every new business as a fresh approach. Like a cold call. You're gonna go cold for a cold call like it's your first call. Don't go with the with the excess package of saying, oh, the previous one didn't happen, so how am I going to convert this? No. Go with everything with a fresh approach. You will find things that opportunities being there. Do a little more research. Understand there are many other industries that are still, in fact, doing better than ever before. Be it computer manufacturers, be it kitchen appliances, because people are cooking on their own today. They used to expect their mates to do the same thing, but today I think more than ever before, those products, so vacuum cleaners are selling even more than ever before because you're doing it. You want that product. Similarly, there are many such things that exist that many such industries that are really doing really well. Go after those clients. See if you can add genuine value. Become a content creator more than just being an event manager, because people are now consuming content in this little space of your 12 inches or your 4 inches of your phone. What can you do to keep people compellingly stuck to your content? So become a broadcaster. Learn to become a content creator. And content is king. I mean, in the sense today, everyone's looking for content, whether it's OTT platforms, whether it's your clients, whether it's every other, whether it's YouTube or whether it's Facebook. Everywhere, people are looking for different content. If you can start thinking in those lines, there's no way you're going to fail, especially as far as event managers are concerned. But otherwise, in general, people, I think if we are going to stay confident, in 5 years, it might take 6 years, it might take 3 years, it may be even less. But the game changer is going to be the vaccine. When the vaccine is found, it might take another year for testing and distribution, or even 2 years. But then after that, it's going to be just another vaccine that's available in the clinic next door. When that happens, humans will throw social distance out of the window. You're going to go back to partying. You're going to go back to watching concerts. You're going to go back to watching sports events, and things will be back to normal someday. Of course, with a new norm, with more safety, more security. And that's about all. And I think you simply need to stay at it. If you're passionate about something, stay at it. Don't give up midway. You've got to commit 100 mistakes before you find the 101st amazing product or service that you're coming up with. So just stay positive. And that's what all of us are going to be doing. So there's no giving up. That's it.
While you actually summed up the entire episode saying that in case you're positive, in case you're passionate about something, just don't give up. Things are going to fall in place, but you have to keep your hard work going in any case, right?
And focus. Stay focused. Stay focused.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's easy to say, difficult to deliver, but it is possible.
Superb. And actually, like you said, content. It's very important for everybody out there to make themselves available for the people who are actually trying to reach you, right? In any other form. Or, it could be, has to be digital now, because there is no way that you can reach out to them physically. So digital in anywhere. It could be a post, it could be a picture, it could be a video, it could be a session, or anything of those sorts. You've been doing quite a few, and I've seen that, and it has been phenomenal. They have been gaining a lot of respect. And with this, I think these are the pro tips for every event manager and every person who's trying to get into an event management agency. Okay. We have a little surprise for you. These are a few questions that you need to be answering very, very quick, which is something very contrary to what you do. This is fire round. And I'm going to be giving you a few choices, a few one-liners, a few questions. You need to be giving me an answer which is not politically correct and not diplomatic.
Correct.
Right?
Okay.
Are you set?
Okay. Shoot. Let's go. Is there a hamper?
Yeah, probably. Let's see.
Later. Okay, done. Let's go. Yeah.
Fabs or Christ, your fonder memories?
Fabs.
Okay. Music, dance, or theater? The art form that's closer to your heart.
Music.
Okay. I'm guessing this is a very hard choice. But okay.
Very hard. Yeah.
Bangalore or Mumbai, a city closer to your heart?
Bangalore.
Okay.
Mumbai comes a very close second.
Right. Again, very hard choice, but it's okay. A person you draw an inspiration from?
To be very honest with you, it sounds very cliche, my mom, because I've grown up watching her doing everything in the world. But she's been in the dumps, and I think I've seen her, and I think that's what inspires me to continue to be. But from an external point of view, Shah Rukh Khan.
Okay.
For me, he is absolutely an amazing human being. Even his growth story is great. And more than anything else, more than an actor, he's a great entrepreneur. He's intelligent, he's witty, he's spontaneous, he's everything amazing. So for me, I think Shah Rukh Khan it would be.
Okay, but actually speaking, in all my 7 or 6 episodes in the past, I've had everybody choosing their parents as their inspiration because that's something they actually look up to, and they are, they are the first inspiration once you start
Yes.
becoming big. Correct.
Yes.
Okay, three other agency that you think are doing exceptional works.
70 EMG from Bombay. Brilliant work, brilliant work. I mean, you should watch their work. I mean, if you don't know about them, and just look out for their work. That's number one. Uh, Actually, not three. There may be more than that. Two, I believe, Geometry and Compass does some really amazing work. Three, not in the same or in a particular order, but they're all amazing.
Uh-huh.
Fountainhead
Okay.
does some path-breaking work. Passion comes out with the, each of these organizations has a certain character that the founder brings to the table, and I think that's so gorgeous, amazing that you see. And the fourth, of course, is Viscraft. The founders, again, I mean, the kind of passion that they bring to the table, never give up attitude, and the most incredible jobs. And I think work that they do. So for me, there are many more, but I would say 70, Geometry and Compass, Fountainhead, and Viscraft would
So,
be some of the best. Yeah.
okay, collaborations that have been the most successful for phase one in the history.
In our history, I would say is a collaboration with Live Nation, the world's largest entertainment company. They're a $10 billion New York Stock Exchange listed company
Wow.
who have agreed to partner with us for our new venue at the airport. We're going to be constructing one of the world's, I mean, one of the country's best and the subcontinent's best concert arenas at the Bangalore airport,
Wow.
and embassy and the embassy group. The embassy group for believing in us. And of course, I think it's the 25 years of all the work that we've done has finally paid off with a partner, with a collaborator, and an investor, co-investor like Embassy and Live Nation coming on board. That's going to be the most epic collaboration that we've ever had.
I think
And
everyone on the is going to be waiting for something that's going to be coming out of this collaboration because this seems so big and so fabulous.
yeah,
Okay. Moving
it'll
on
be
to
epic.
the question.
Yeah.
A client who has made phase one work the hardest or has been the toughest client in your journey?
Toughest and the best has been Titan Industries. Because
Title.
Titan has multiple brands. They've got Tanishq jewelry, they've got Titan watches, they've got their eyewear, they've got fragrances, they've got saris. I mean, they've got everything, and they're so innovative. We've learned and grown because of Titan. I mean, we've learned a phenomenon. We've been working with them for more than 20 years now. So they've been the toughest and the best clients.
Give me an instance where they actually made you work the hardest and you were, oh my God, give me a break kinds.
Okay. There are these events called the Business Associate Meets. It's called BAMs. And BAMs happen around the world. And every time, you've got to prove to them that you're still the best. You could have done the best for the last 19 years, 18 years, and they would have said, wow, this is the ultimate event that we've ever experienced in our lives, either in Moscow or in Istanbul or in Jordan or anywhere. But they still will get you to work your back off for the next BAM. And they will get the whole world to pitch for it. They will make sure they want to keep seeing that you are the best. So which means it's like, if you're an Olympian and you've got your gold medal this year, you go back next year, they're not going to say, oh, you're a gold medalist. You've got to go back and work as hard to win another gold. Otherwise, you still go back to a silver or a bronze. So you've got to stay up on the game. And I thank them for it because if they had never done this, people would have been complacent. We would have all been complacent. And
Yes.
I think it's for them that we are as successful as we are as an organization and as tight and as amazing as an organization that we really are. Yeah.
Yeah, so they actually start from zero every time you pitch with it and make sure that you're on your toes all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
One country in which you loved doing an event. I'm sure phase one has gone to various parts of the world. I want to know one country that actually surprised you.
My God, that's a very tough one. Uh, Gosh, what do I say? Japan,
Was
Tokyo.
very professional.
Japan, Tokyo. Yeah, I'll tell you, they are What a discovery. I'll tell you, Japan is one of the best countries in the world. The people, the hospitality, the cleanliness, the processes, respect, just everything is just phenomenal. They surprise you. They really, really surprise you. And I think that's a dream. It's a dream place to go and do anything.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I already want to go there post lockdown. Thank you. Om, this was phenomenal. Any last words before we wrap up?
Just stay positive, be happy, surround yourself only with happy and positive people. It'll sort of multiply your energy, and you will be unstoppable. You will be, the best thing is to be with happy people. Just stay happy. Nothing else is important than to just be happy. That's it.
I've never had such a positive interview. Thank you so much, Om. Thank you so much for your time. And it was
Thank
great.
you, Priyanka.
I hope I'll see you soon offline and not online again. Thank you.
Oh, for sure. We will. Okay. Thank you for being a very tough host, tricky host. It was good fun being with you. You've done good research, enough research to actually put me in the spot. Some of them are really tough, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed them. Thank you so much, Priyanka.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.